Hello, it's Aaron, your multi-sport coach, and welcome to my meditation, Removing Failures. In life, we all go through some sort of failures, and the way we perceive it is the way that we're going to create our future. So this meditation is to help release all these perceived emotions that we have on failures from our childhood. Our childhood is what has moulded us to now, to today. So for you to release all these emotions and these thoughts and these perceived values that we have on failures, to turn them into something more positive, to help you to move forward, to grow. The most important thing before going through this meditation is to make sure that you're understanding the timeline, or to make sure that you watched my video on understanding the timeline. If you don't quite understand it just yet, the reason being is probably because you're thinking about it too much. You're trying to understand it too hard. You have to let the subconscious mind take over in understanding what the timeline is. So this is the past to now into the future, right? And if you don't quite understand it just yet, as I said, because you're thinking about it too much, just let it go and just flow it with it. So whatever comes to mind is the way that it should be. There's no right or wrong, right? Because everyone has a different perspective on the way that they see things, or the way that they feel things, the way that they learn things. So the most important thing is to just try not to think about it too much and let it go and listen to what the subconscious mind is talking about. Okay, so this meditation, it doesn't ideally, or it's preferred not to be done at night time. It's not so much a relaxing meditation. It's going to help you change your thoughts on the failures, but it's also going to give you some motivation and positivity at the end to make you more successful. So ideally, it's not something you want to do just before bed, but it is something you can do throughout the day or in the evening. So find yourself a nice, quiet, relaxing spot. So make sure there's no sounds around. Keep the noise to a minimum. Make sure there's not going to be any interruptions. Just find yourself either a seated place on the lounge, or lying down on your carpet, or just seated in a comfortable chair in a quiet workspace. Now, let's focus on the breath. The breathing is one of the most important aspects in optimal health. Breathing can change a lot of things in your lifestyle. Too many people are not focused on the breath. Let's take a minute just to focus on the breath. And get the timing of your diaphragm. As you breathe in, your diaphragm pushes out. As you exhale, the belly sinks back down. Start just to focus on the breath. Really start to hone in to the sounds that your body is making. The movement that your body is making. Start to get in touch with your body. Start to understand your body. Now in this relaxed state, the eyes should be closed. I want you to float up out of your body like an out-of-body experience. Float up, float up, float up. float up outside your body, outside the room, up into the sky, up into the clouds. Focus on the breath still. You're looking down at yourself, sitting in that chair or lying down on your carpet. It's wherever you may be, you're looking down at yourself. You're looking at yourself breathing. You can see every inhale, your belly rise, your diaphragm expanding. Every exhale, you see your belly dropping down. You're starting to feel more relaxed than ever. Totally and utterly relaxed. You're still up in those clouds. You're floating around. You can see yourself down there, but you can also just look around at those clouds and feel total freedom. I want you to ask yourself a question. Is it okay for me to talk to your subconscious mind today? You've heard the answer in your head. So what I want you to do now is, I want you to ask yourself, I want you to think back to your childhood and ask yourself, when in my childhood, did I have these failures? These failures that have moulded me to who I am today. These failures that have made me afraid, that have made me scared of the success. It's moving forward. I want you to ask yourself, when was your first failure in your childhood? At what age were you? How old were you? Your first failure. You will feel a resistance. Just breathe, breathe. The resistance is your subconscious mind. It doesn't like pain. No one likes failure. But it's there. You can see it. What I want you to do now, stay up in those clouds and let's float back to that age in your childhood. Stay up in the clouds. Don't float into it. Just stay up in there. Stay up in there. You're looking down at yourself, at that failure, whatever it is. That failure, you're looking down at yourself. Right, those emotions are strong. Don't go into the event. Stay out of it. The further away from it you are, the stronger you will be. Up in those clouds, breathing, relaxed. Now, for you to release all these emotions of failure at this age, I want you to ask yourself, what are the positive learnings from this event to release all these emotions of failure? What can you learn from this event at that age to release all the emotions of failure? What are they? Up in the clouds, you're relaxed. Start to listen to the subconscious mind. It'll start to talk. It'll start to rattle off its words. They might not make sense. It doesn't matter. These are learnings. What can you learn to release the emotions of failure? Right? The failure that is holding you back. Stay up there. What can you learn? What are the positive learnings? Just keep rattling them off in your head. One by one. You'll hear the subconscious mind talking to you. It may repeat certain things. It's not my fault. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I don't care. These type of things is finding the positive learnings right, about your failures in your childhood, for you to release all the emotions. So just keep rattling them off and breathe. Positive learnings for you to release all these emotions of failure. What are they today? You're totally relaxed now and you're letting it all go. Now we've learnt what we can about these failures. So what I want you to do, I want you to fly down into that event at that age that you were, as if you were there on that day. And ask yourself, where are the emotions of failures now? They're gone. They've gone. You have no failure at that age. Why? Because it wasn't a failure in the first place. It was what helped you grow. What helped you move forward. Just in your mind, you perceived it as a failure. It was just a thought, an incorrect thought process that you had in your childhood that has stopped you moving forward today. Okay, so what I want you to do now, float back up into the clouds. So we just released one set of failures from like one age. Generally, we might have 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10 of these failures throughout that age, that first failure that you had, all the way up to now. But so what I want you to do, each night I want you to go through each one of your failures in your childhood. It's listening to this like meditation. It's listening to this like removal of the failures. For now, come back up in those clouds. And I want you to slowly float back to now. Just identifying where these other failures are for tomorrow. Have a look at them as you're coming back. You're just looking down and you can see the second one. The third one, it could be, for example, as 5, as 8, at 10, 11, 12, 15, 16 like years of age, and so on. As you float back, you're just looking at them and being aware of them, being conscious of them, so you can come back and do the work to release all these emotions. Find these positive learnings for you to release that emotion, for you to be more successful for today, and change all this thought process of failure. Failure is just a word that we have in our head that is a negative response. If we can change it and find the positive learnings from the failure, it's not a failure. Let's call it something else. Let's call it the growth factor. Every failure that you've had now is going to be a growth factor in your life to help you move forward to be successful, overcome your fears, and help you to achieve your goals and your dreams. So now that you're aware of where these other failures are, come back to now. Alright, I want you to slowly start to open your eyes. Come back to today. Now I want you to think of a time that you were the most successful in your life. The time that you had the most success, the feeling of success. You felt like the most successful person in your life. And you felt like the most successful person in the world. Nothing could stop you. Can you see that picture? So what I want you to do with that picture that you've got right in front of you now, I want you to make that picture bigger and brighter. Make the picture larger. Right, it's right there in front of you, you can see it. Turn that brightness up, right up so you can see it, but not too bright. Just bright enough to make it really strong and really positive. This is the time when you are the most successful person in your life. So what I want you to do now is I want you to float down into that picture as if you were there. See what you're seeing and hear what you heard. Feel the feelings that you really felt come with that success. Feel it and embrace it in the body. Feel it running from your head to your shoulders, to your stomach, to your hips, through your legs. Feel that success. Good. Come outside that picture. Come back to now. Keep that picture close to you. That picture of success. Every time that you have a feeling of failure, right, you're going to have that picture of success on your left, and that feeling of failure, create it as a picture and put it on your right. And so what you're going to do in your head, that picture of failure gets squashed by that picture of success. And those feelings that you just had of success are going to come out stronger than ever and squash that picture of failure. You are going to feel more like motivated and more invigorated towards success instead of failure. Failure is just a negative word in your mind. It's now the growth factor. Failures are squashed from success and it becomes a growth factor. This is how we're going to overcome all our failures, all our thoughts on failures, for you to be the most successful person that you can. Thanks for listening to this today, guys. I want you to repeat this. Repeat it as much as you can. 28 days to make a change, 12 weeks to get a result. If you're serious about overcoming your failures, creating a growth factor and being more successful, just listen to this every night for 28 days. Okay, or at least until you've overcome all them failures in your childhood. Keep going back through them. As I said, thanks for listening. Take this information away today and use it. It is a very powerful tool for you to be more successful.